6 starts now.
Thank you for joining us at 6, everybody. I'm Yolanda Harris.
And I'm Andrew Kinsey. Let's get straight to our team coverage of the not guilty verdict in the Dr. William Husel murder trial. 10 TV's Kevin Landers live outside the old Mount Carmel Hospital with a look at what comes next.
But first, let's go out to Chief Investigative Reporter Bennett Haberly, who's been following this trial closely from start to finish. Bennett?
Yolanda, for Dr. William Husel and his legal defense team, this was a victory. Confirmation, in their view, that the justice system worked. But for the patients, the family members of those patients, this was another day of frustration and disappointment and another turn on a roller coaster they've been riding for 3 years.
Count 14, we, the jury in this case, being duly impaneled, sworn to find the defendant not guilty as to count 14 of the indictment for murder.
It has been an emotional case. His attorneys acknowledged the same was true for Dr. William Husel, who shared this moment with his attorney, Diane Menashe, as the jury found him not guilty of 14 counts of murder. The former Mount Carmel physician was fired in December of 2018 and was accused of ordering excessive dosages of fentanyl and other drugs that prosecutors alleged hastened the deaths of these 14 patients. But the jurors didn't buy it. Throughout trial, his defense team countered that his dosing, while aggressive, was meant to prevent suffering in patients who were dying.
For me, this case was about intent. Did William Husel ever intend to kill any of his patients? Not just these 14, but anyone that he ever treated. And I believe the jury clearly spoke to that, and so did the evidence that, he did all these life-saving measures, whether it was CPR or giving, intubating patients, that certainly his last effort was never with the intent to kill or hastens anyone's death. His intent was to provide comfort care.
Family members of patients who observed the trial have expressed frustrations and disappointment. After their loved ones died, the hospital called them in late 2018 and 2019, telling them their loved ones may have received too much medication. It spurred lawsuits and legal settlements from the hospital totaling more than $20 million. Husel's legal defense team has said repeatedly that what happened here is a civil matter with an entirely different standard of proof than a criminal case. A case they say never belonged here. Has the weight of an acquittal sunk in with Dr. William Husel?
Well, I hope every minute it will sink in more. That's what I told him. I said, as you leave the courthouse and you're in the car, look at your watch every moment and think, I'm 5 minutes into the rest of my life.
And that video you just saw there at the end was a video of a truck carrying Dr. William Husel, his wife, and 2 others as they left the courthouse this morning. Andrew?
Bennett, what can you tell us about the jury in this case? As you know, they were deadlocked for a while.
Right. Just on Monday, they came back around lunchtime Monday, said that they were deadlocked, and obviously they had to work through some things. The judge took reporters who have been covering this case into the jury room after the verdict was reached. It was completely empty, but we got a chance to see where they went through that process. We knew that at one point they were at an impasse, and it was clear both through what the court and the defense attorney told us that they were able to overcome that and reach this verdict. Here's how the judge described how they did that.
They basically started from scratch again and went through the whole case again. Now, they had the benefit of their charts and everything, but they went through each count individually and gave it a rereading, and they talked about reasonable doubt, which is the standard they have to live with, and then they came up with the verdict.
So all parties, the judge and even the defense attorney, we didn't hear from the prosecution directly, but they all said that they trusted the jury, that the jurors worked well through this process. Again, this legal case, the criminal case, is put to rest, but there are others still at play. William Husel has his own pending civil litigation against the hospital in a defamation suit. The patient family members are still suing the hospital and Husel. And there's a discipline matter still before the medical board that Husel will have to deal with both this summer and later on throughout the year. Reporting live inside the Franklin County Courthouse, Bennett Haberly, 10 TV News.
Bennett, thorough reporting and extensive reporting. Great job on your behalf for the last 3 years. We appreciate it.